We were issued a 7-day notice. I mean, to be fair, it probably took another 2 or 3 months before it came.
So there was no meeting?
Till today, nobody picked up the phone, called me, or wrote to me personally and said, here's the issue you have, here's what's going to happen. But that site we bought in 2006, 18 years ago, and we paid $17 million in 2006. We borrowed $30 million to develop that beach. The pain and the hurt is that we spent $30 million developing the infrastructure on that beach. But you know, the biggest tragedy of this were the businesses that were affected by the losses of revenue. We had a beach hotel and people were sleeping in the hotel when they demolished.
Come to Lagos as a result of this is mad. But that's entirely up to Lagos State and Eko Atlantic City. Me, I'm going to run my own like this.
So, recently, as I was scrolling through Instagram, I follow quite a couple of developers, and there's this guy, KG Giwa. He's been in the news for calling out periwinkle. Anyway, so he's selling the carnelian, and the carnelian is facing Eko Atlantic and also facing the coastal road. And then he said a lot of things to promote it, but there's one thing that he said, and then I did some research. He said the carnelian is going to be facing Eko Atlantic Resort, and in the 3D I saw the Eko Atlantic Resort.
This building here, this is landmarks building. They didn't touch his land. Do you get? But all of this area they had to touch because this is federal road. Yeah, this is where the beach was. Then so that's the so this land, can you see? All that is landmark. Can you see? So landmark's land was perfectly saved. Yeah, because they have their sea of and everything. It was just the beach that was federal land. Eko Atlantic here, go forward. Can you see? Where the people at the city here. Can you see that now? Yeah. What? Yeah. All this will be filled, and then the boats will come in. The resort, Eko Atlantic City Resort, will be around here, and then we are right here. You can see.
Not much different from what you had before, which was Landmark Beach Resort. And it got me thinking, was this a hit job? I know I've been saying it before, but without proof. But I did some search about the Eko Atlantic Resort. I know there's the Hakuna Matata beach at the moment. That is in Hakuna Matata is where kids can come play, and there are bouncing castles, lots of nice stuff. And I knew Eko Atlantic was going to do something there because I've had a couple of Nigerians in the diaspora coming to Nigeria at this point in time because we are close to summer and what have you. And they ask me, oh, where can we go to have some nice time with the family and whatnot. And in most of the cases, the issue is that there's no weird that actually rivals what Landmark gave to Lagos in the terms of the businesses that was there, the activities, the serenity, even the quality of the beach. He told me he went to one. I'll redact the name, that it was it was bad. They didn't maintain the beach, and it was one of the private beach resorts. To me, I believe that there were a lot of things in play, but that also was a hostile takeover. And Paul Wanibe had done several videos and several promo and said, oh, this thing is worth some $20-something million, and this is kind of our turnover in billions per week. And this is Eko Atlantic, guys. To be fair, and I'm going to post that video and that excerpt of it. To be fair, there have been times where they have actually come out years before to say that Eko Atlantic or Landmark is already on their land, and Landmark is the one that took their land. But seeing that they have the backing of the beachfront resorts in the Oniru axis of Lagos have now become victims of this project. One of the affected venues is the Landmark Beach Resort.
160,000 members on the beach, and someone has decided, or a set of people have decided, that a road infrastructure project is more important than socio-economic activity along that 700-kilometer coastline. Look, unfortunately, it's the first kilometer.
Were you compensated for this?
Not a penny. Till date, we haven't been compensated.
Is it a promise?
Nobody has written to me and promised.
These booming resorts that had provided close to 20,000 jobs directly and indirectly, catered to millions of guests yearly, and provided an avenue for dozens of businesses, has been bulldozed to make way for the highway. Mr. Larry Akambi, a representative for South Energy X Limited, stated in an expose that the beach the landmark was occupying belonged to Eco Atlantic City. He went on to say that no money was demanded from Landmark, even though South Energy X was meant to be paid over 7 billion naira for encroaching on over 180,000 square meters of land they owned. He mentioned that South Energy X had written to Landmark Group to vacate the beachfront for reclamation, but had received no response. Mr. Kambi then stated that the original route of the Lagos-Calabar highway would have hurt Landmark more, but it was Eco Atlantic now who had lost 87 billion naira due to the coastal highway project. He also mentioned that it was because of the Eco Atlantic project that the Victoria Island/Lekki axis was seeing new life. Residents and businesses that fled the floods had returned to the area, and the value of properties had also taken a good turn. In the end, the future of Landmark in Lagos without the beachfront is shaky, but the Coastal Highway and Eco Atlantic project, two projects with direct involvement of the Chagourys, will still stand strong. Whether this was deliberate to send some form of message to Landmark, we may never know, but you can count it again as another brutal victory for the Chagourys.
Presidency, obviously, is a major stakeholder in that project. It was just easy to deal with because it would have been very, very easy for them to walk around Landmark. And, well, what do you know? These are part of the hazards of doing business in Nigeria, doing business in a place like Lagos. How are you guys doing? Today I am in Miami, Florida, and it's just been beautiful. Being in a coastal city like this and seeing that this is the potential of Lagos, this is the potential. In another probably 10, 15, 20 years, I think Lagos could rival Florida. And Miami South Beach should probably be the next Lagos Island. Lagos Island will probably be the next Miami South Beach. Anyways, kindly like, share, subscribe. And if you already do not know, I started the Equity Circle. It's called the 100 million naira Equity Circle. So we are starting a platform that gives you or brings you distressed and below market deals. So we are connecting people that have properties that they quickly want to sell, obviously that's gone through due diligence, with investors that have the cash to deploy, cash-ready investors at every different point in time. And I've talked about deals that were worth 150 million, we were able to get 50 million for the client. Deals that were worth 1.something billion, the client is offering cash now for 700 million, and many such cases. So if you have property in Nigeria, you need to tell us. There's going to be two different books. You need to tell us whether you want to sell or you want deals. So we're going to be introducing different incentives to the different set of people. So you're going to see the link in the bio or in the description below. Just fill it and I will be in touch. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Ownahome TV show. Can you like, can you share, can you subscribe? I'll see you at the very next video. Bye-bye.